Hey guys, welcome to another level 1 MCAT prep viewer question. So this question was actually sent to me in one of the comment section. So I kind of wrote it down in the best way possible that I think I understand it. And we'll actually go from here. If you do have any questions, pop it in the comment section or in my Facebook page. Also, don't forget to subscribe just to keep up with the latest content. Okay, so what we've got here is we've got a cuboid with a volume of 4x squared minus 10x minus 6. So if we think about it, we've got a cuboid that looks something like that, and we've got the volume as, so we're going to put volume equals 4x squared minus 10x minus 6. Now it says that if x can only be whole numbers, what's the smallest volume possible? So I guess what I do know is volume of a cuboid is you've got the base times the length times the height. So height being there, base being there, length being there. Well, you can call it whichever way you want, it doesn't really matter. But all you know is that you've got three kind of measurements there. Now the volume itself is written at the moment as 4x squared minus 10x minus 6. So I need to factorize this so it looks something with three brackets, okay, because one of them is going to be base, one of them is going to be length, and one of them is going to be height. Now the first thing that I can do is I'm looking at those numbers and I can see that 2 is a common factor, so I'm actually going to take 2 out as a common factor, and when I do that I get 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. And now I've got this quadratic which is 2x squared minus 5x minus 3, and I need to factorize that. So I need to factorize 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 into two brackets. And the way I do it is I actually got 2 times negative 3, which equals negative 6. And I'm looking for two numbers that add up to negative 5. So my two numbers are going to be negative 6 times 1 and negative 6 plus 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace negative 5x with negative 6x and 1x. And by doing this, I'm going to get 2x squared minus 6x plus 1x minus 3. Then I need to factorize by parts. So in the left hand side, I'm going to get 2x and x minus 3. And on the right hand side, because I have no common factors, I'm just going to take out 1. And that means I'm going to get x minus 3. And what you guys should see now is that x minus 3 is a common factor. And so we're going to get 2x plus 1 and x minus 3 as factors. So the 2x where it comes from here, and the 1 actually ends up coming up here. Now what we need to make sure is one of these brackets does not equal to 0 or less than 0, because remember that the sides have to actually be greater than 0, because that's what it says by whole numbers. So what I could do is I could potentially just find out for what values of x is these two brackets equal to 0. So I've actually done it like this. So if you go back to my volume equation, I've got 2 multiplied by 2x plus 1 and then x minus 3. So what I want to know is for what values of an x can only be whole numbers, and what's the smallest volume possible, right? Now what I could do is I could actually guess and check, because I could have x as 0. If I have x as 0, my volume is going to be negative, because watch what happens. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this. I do apologize. So if x equals to 0, then volume is equal to 2 multiplied by 2 times 0 is 1. 2 times 0 is 1. 2 times 0 is 0, and then plus 1 is 1. And then I've got 0 minus 3, which is x minus 3. And what you can see is that volume ends up being negative 6. So x can't equal to 0. And if I just keep going like this, you'll soon start to realize that the minimum x can actually be is 4, I think, but let's have a look. If I put x equals to 1, then volume is equal to 2 multiplied by 2 times 1, which is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. and then 2 minus 3 is, sorry, 1 minus 3 is negative 2, and what happens is the volume ends up being 4 times 3, which is 12, and negative 12. All right, so I guess this is kind of like the long-winded way of doing this, and I really don't want to be wasting time doing this. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this quadratic, and I'm going to put that equal to 0. Or what I could do is I could actually find out when is this greater than 0. That's the other way I could do it. Because if the base times height is bigger than 0, then the volume will definitely be bigger than 0. But again, I've got to look at whole numbers, right? So what I could then do is, instead of putting it as greater than 0, I could just put it equal to 0 just to figure out what x should be if the volume is going to be 0. I hope that makes sense, but I'm going to show you guys anyway, so give me 1 second. So I'm going to get 2x plus 1 equals to 0, or x minus 3 equals to 0. And in this case, I've got x equals to 3. And in the first case, I've got 2x is equal to minus 1, and then x is equal to minus 1 over 2. Now, because I've got, like, I'm looking at x equals minus 1 over 2 and x equals to 3. Now, if I put any value less than 3, then remember that this measurement here, if I put it anything less than 3 or 3, then what happens is that measurement becomes a negative value. Because as you can see here, like, see, when I put x equals to 0, I got that, what did I say it was going to be? Like height, for example. Because let's say if I say the yellow part was the height. So that part is the height. So as you can see, if I put x equals to 0, I get height of negative 3. If I put x equals to 1, I'm going to get height of negative 2. But if I put x equals to 3, then the height is going to be 0. So the next biggest whole number that can be valid is x has to be 4. Because it has to be a whole number. So once we figured out that x has to be 4, we can go back and find out what the volume, smallest possible volume is. So if x is equal to 4, then our volume equals 2 multiplied by 2 times 4 plus 1 and multiplied by 4 minus 3. So when we do this, we're going to get volume is equal to 2 multiplied by 8 and 9 and 1. So volume ends up being 18. So this is when x is equal to 4. But if I try x equals to 5, just to kind of show you guys what happens, we're going to get 2 multiplied by 2 times 5 plus 1 multiplied by 5 minus 3. So I'm going to get 2 multiplied by 5 times 2, 10 plus 1 is 11 times 5 minus 3, which is another 2. So this time you can see that you're going to end up getting 44. So from here we can say that the minimum volume equals to 18 when x equals to 4. Now I hope that actually made sense, and I know that was a really long video, but it is 5 o'clock in the morning and my brain hasn't kicked in yet. But I'm hoping to get a few more videos out for you guys in the next hour before everyone in the house wakes up. So that's basically it for this video, guys. As always, don't forget to like and share this video. Also subscribe to keep up with the latest content, and there should be a lot of playlists with lots and lots of revision material for you guys. So check them out. That's it. Thank you for watching this video.